10 years of doing a show on Memorial Day on the Alex Garrett Podcast Network, I'm pretty sure I've utilized some portion of Battle Hymn of the Republic on Memorial Day because it is the Memorial Day song. I kind of learned it back when on East 47th Street, the Holy Family Church, right down the block from my old apartment, would blare out at 11 o'clock the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and it stuck with me. And now I get to kind of share that experience of hearing that and growing to love the Battle Hymn of the Republic as an anthem for Memorial Day, that I want to share that with you every year. Today, obviously, took it a little lighter after recovering from this hospitalization. We did go to the monument, which is on Union Turnpike on 164th Street, the Hillcrest American Legion, post 1078. And it's always special. They put the wreath up to honor the fallen of those who lived in this area in Queens, in Hillcrest, New York. So always want to pass by that monument, and I implore you to visit it. Not just today on Memorial Day, but every day if you're in the area. On Union Turnpike in Queens, a way to honor our fallen. Now, this is an interview I'm going to play for you for Memorial Day. Is a few years old, but it is Bruce Mosler, who's always been running the USS Intrepid Museum Memorial Day festivities and ceremonies. And I caught up with him 3 years ago, the first Memorial Day, after the pandemic was really dying down, if you will, and people were back out. Here's what Bruce Mosler and I talked about just feet away from the Intrepid on Memorial Day 2021. I'm here with the co-chair of this beautiful Intrepid on Memorial Day, Bruce Mosler. Bruce, thanks for continuing this tradition a year after the pandemic. How does this feel today?
It feels like a weight's been lifted, in that we can once again be together with each other, even though we are practicing social distancing and doing other things. But it also feels as if it's particularly important to remember those, as I mentioned, more than 33,000 New Yorkers and 52,000 in the States, 600,000 Americans have perished through this pandemic. So remind us all again of how precious life is.
Did the Intrepid family lose members as well?
Well, I think you heard Susan mention earlier that several of our veterans who have served have passed, and I think everybody in New York knew someone, or someone who knew someone who passed in this tragic moment, because let's face it, New York was hit first and hardest in many ways.
I would say the Intrepid is a perfect example of our fortitude in the city, though. Would you agree?
I think it reminds us of how resilient New Yorkers are, just as Intrepid was. No carrier faced greater odds and survived and thrived, and as I said, knew ultimate victory.
And for those who may be a veteran listening to this and they still need support through this, where can they go to? I feel like you guys are a great resource to turn to.
Look, there's a tremendous number of places to continue to support our veterans, including IAVA. There's any number of you can go to the Commissioner James Hendon and the Veterans Affairs Department in New York. We're all here to help our veterans regain their footing.
And one last thing, the adaptability of the Intrepid to go online and all that, I'm sure you played a role in that. It was special to keep this going even through a pandemic, was it not?
It was critical to all of us who play a part in Intrepid to make sure that even though people couldn't come to us, that we could get to them. It was important to continue our educational programs. It was important to continue reminding people of the cost of freedom. All those things.
Yeah, you guys actually educate veterans. I did not know that until I came in here.
We do. We also educate young people in public schools, and that's a very important part of what we believe is to remember that freedom isn't free. There's a very high cost to maintain our freedoms.
And you had family as well. Did you serve? Did you have family?
I didn't. My father served. I did not. I was appointed to the Department of Defense Business Board, which was my way of giving back, and I think every person can give back in some capacity, way, shape, or form, and must.
Bruce, thank you so much, and God bless you.
God bless you.
Have a blessed Memorial Day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Now, Bruce is also part of the Veteran Initiatives program at Cushman and Wakefield. Wanted to add that in there on this Memorial Day 2024. So, to talk with him a year after the pandemic, the first Memorial Day when the vaccines had rolled out and everything, and there was a great crowd of veterans, of supporters of the military, of military families at that event 3 years ago. But today, I think Memorial Day. I think of Memorial Day every year, and I think of how I'm not losing the meaning of this day. But as people continue to go to the beaches, and they don't really think about why they get to go to the beaches. They don't think about who stormed the beaches. Maybe a lot of them do, but you know the point. The societal, the commercial use of Memorial Day has really watered down what today is. And that is to honor the fallen whom stormed the beaches of Normandy. I saw a tweet today. This was very interesting. They had basically restored all 9,000 plus grave markers of the soldiers that stormed Omaha Beach. They used the sand from that very beach to restore and scrub the letters of soldiers who died there as a way to commemorate their bravery, their fight for America. 9,000 plus graves restored with the sand taken from Omaha Beach, the very beach they stormed to keep our country safe, to keep our country from turning into a fully German globally. What they did to storm the beach of Normandy curbed Germany. And we can all stop them. And we can all be thankful for that. Can't we? Especially today, when we already see internal anti-Semitism. And I feel like that's also watered down a lot of what the spring has become. Instead of enjoying commencement and then enjoying Memorial Day and honoring the troops, I see people protesting in the middle of Memorial Day weekend parades. That's BS. That should never be allowed to happen. That's not free speech. That's attacking even events honoring those who gave these snot-nosed, bratty college kids and older the ability to protest. So the snot-nosers are now basically telling the veterans and those who died to give them the right of speech, screw you. You see that? That's what they're saying by interrupting Memorial Day parades. So I pray that no matter what you see on TV, you don't let the snot-nosers who encamped on college campuses and ruined commencements and spread anti-Semitism in the process, by the way, ruin this meaning of Memorial Day. And I think those who hold it truly in their heart will get it. And those who have no regard for America, you will never be as brave as those soldiers who have died and sacrificed their lives to keep this country exceptional, to keep it going, to keep it free. You will never be that brave. And that's why we honor the brave. Because only those who are willing to sacrifice their life for a cause such as America, for a country such as America, that's the epitome of bravery right there. And then I do love that a lot of these veterans who are living today come home and continue to work in police departments across the country and continue to keep us safe when their tour of duty is done. But for those who died on the battlefield, they are what keeps this country, the fabric. If we just cut out the noise of the encampments, of the protesters, it's the fabric of this country, which those who fought and died for our country in serving in the U.S. military. That is who is preserving the fabric. And I say preserving because obviously, unfortunately, military members are always worried about their lives. Well, families are. Military members are always at risk to lose their lives when at sea, overseas. But at home, we cannot let this Memorial Day fade away. We must always go to the local parades, the local church services, honoring, and yes, even the Intrepid services, honoring those who lost their lives defending our country. Because those events and those people that risked it all and sacrificed it all and lost their life for our country are what keeps this fabric great. So maybe this Memorial Day we take out the noise. We remove it from our consciousness. We remove it from our TV screens. And we just purely know America is exceptional. Does it have its flaws? Yes. But it's exceptional. And you know how we know that? Because we honor those who have fallen. Every last Monday in May. Because they knew the exceptionalism of America and they fought for it. And the way we can fight for it is, yes, by enlisting, if you so choose, but by just continually being louder than the noise that we're being shown on our TV screens. By the encampments we're being shown on our TV screens. We have to be louder than that. We have to be more of a cheerleader for America. So much so, those that want to disrupt and everything like that won't even matter. And that's the end goal. That is what our soldiers fought for. To keep America exceptional. Let's not let them die in vain. Can we do that? Can we let their sacrifices mean so much more than it already does by being louder than the noise out there and rooting for America more than those who seemingly root against America? We have to be better. And we have to be louder and more proud of this country. Just like those who sacrificed their lives were. They were so proud to serve in the military that they lost their lives. We thank the troops this and every day on the Alex Garrett Podcast Network.